So the NBA draft is only a few days away, and I thought, well, I think it's time to make my NBA draft prediction video. Now, this is obviously my prediction. This is what I believe, and yeah, I reckon we should just get straight into it. I want to make this video short and sweet for you guys, because I know you don't want to sit around here for 20 minutes. So, with the first overall pick, I think it's pretty obvious who the 76ers are going to draft. I mean, they just traded for the first overall pick with a trade from the Boston Celtics, so they're going to select Markelle Fultz. Their new big three of Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, Joel Embiid. It's looking pretty good down in Philly. With the second overall pick though, this is where it gets interesting. The Lakers traded away D'Angelo Russell. Now, I will make a video on that trade and what I think the Lakers are going to do come 2018 and why they traded away D-Loading. But, man, that is crazy. D'Angelo Russell traded from the Lakers. I thought it was going to be a Lonzo Ball, D'Angelo Russell backcourt, but obviously, they didn't want to do that. So, D'Angelo Russell is gone. So, the Lakers, I still think they will take Lonzo Ball, which is why they got rid of D'Angelo Russell. They obviously thought that they couldn't run the two together. Or, they're just waiting for free agency of 2018 when they can go after Paul George. And they're going to have cap space to go after other players as well as Paul George now. So, it's looking good in LA. And I will talk about more of the Lakers once my Lakers video comes out. Should be either in a few hours or tomorrow. With the third overall pick, the Boston Celtics, who they got from the 76ers, I reckon they will get Josh Jackson. Now, Josh Jackson, there's been a lot of talk about him because, well, he hasn't actually worked out with the Boston Celtics. And there is also that incident with Kansas in December where Jackson allegedly vandalized a car and threatened to beat up a woman basketball player, which is pretty crazy. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think that should really matter when you draft him. You're going to draft him based on his basketball skill. And, well, I think that Josh Jackson seems like a pretty good small forward. And in a league where you really need small forwards, I think Josh Jackson seems like a guy. But don't be surprised if the Celtics trade away either Josh Jackson or just the third overall pick to get a player like Jimmy Butler, to get a player like Paul George for the 1-year rental that he will be. But I can't see them getting Paul George just because I can't see a player going from Boston to LA the next year. Like, that seems too crazy to me. So I think Jimmy Butler could be the guy. Even there has been rumors, and you can look it up yourself, Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics. There's been a rumor. I don't think that will happen. There's also been a rumor about Anthony Davis going to the Celtics. I don't think that will happen either. So I think Jimmy Butler seems like the clear guy, but the Celtics just may not want to get him for the 1 year because he will become a free agent in 2018. With the fourth overall pick, I think that, oh man, this is where it gets real tough. The Phoenix Suns will select De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. See, that's where it gets really hard because De'Aaron Fox is a pretty good player. De'Aaron Fox, I've made a video on him before. The only thing is, why would the Suns want De'Aaron Fox when they have Eric Bledsoe and they have Devin Booker at the 1 and the 2? They seem like they're kind of two backcourt players that they can use for the future. Man, see, that's where it gets really interesting. I'm actually going to change my pick. I reckon the Phoenix Suns will get Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, he'll go to the Phoenix Suns. They need a 3, so I think Jason Tatum will become a member of the Phoenix Suns and they'll take him. And the Sacramento Kings, I think they'll get De'Aaron Fox in the end. I think De'Aaron Fox is a really nice player, and I have made a video on him. If you wanna watch that, it's on my channel. I was saying, what if the Lakers didn't go after Lonzo Ball and actually went after De'Aaron Fox? Because as you know, Lonzo Ball's dad is crazy, and Lonzo Ball, he's got the hype, but how good is he? I still think he will be a part of the Lakers, but De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion, he's almost the better player, but that is my opinion. With the Orlando Magic, now this is where it gets interesting. I think they will go after a power forward. It depends who's available. It really depends who's available. I think that they will get McCarnan. So McCarnan, he's a power forward from Arizona. He's kind of like Dirk Nowitzki in a way. I mean, he's just a big shooter, and he seems like a decent player. He's versatile on offense and he's mobile on defense, even though he's pretty tall. So I do think that McCarnan will go to the Orlando Magic, and I think that because although they have Aaron Gordon, McCarnan is either a center, but he can play power forward, and Aaron Gordon seems to be more of a small forward with the Orlando Magic. They seem to want to run him at small forward, so I think the Magic will get him. With the 7th overall pick, I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves will get Jonathan Isaac. He's a small forward, but he's 6'11", so I think that he'll probably play power forward, and they'll run Karl-Anthony Towns at center. But I think it will take time for Jonathan Isaac to develop. I mean, he's a young star. He's made some serious noise, and I think the Timberwolves, well, I think Isaac really fits in with the whole Timberwolves theme. They've got a young guy in Chris Dunn. They've got Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins. I think Isaac can fit in that 3 to 4 position, and then you got Karl-Anthony Towns as well. So I think that, well, I just think he's a good fit. I really like Jonathan Isaac. He may be my favorite player in this draft. I just think he's a good player. He's not the best, but he's versatile, and I think he can do whatever the team needs him to do, and I think that's why the Timberwolves will select him. With the 8th overall pick, I think that the New York Knicks will select Dennis Smith Jr. Now, Dennis Smith, he is actually a really, really good player. And if this draft class wasn't set with point guards of Lonzo Ball and De'Aaron Fox, I think that, well, and obviously Markelle Fultz, even Malik Monk, although he's a shooting guard, I still think he's 6'3" and can play point guard. But I think Dennis Smith is actually one of the better players in this draft, and I really like Dennis Smith. I know I said Isaac, but I think Dennis Smith might be my favorite player. He's a really good player. I think he'll do well in the NBA, and I can see him fitting in with New York, even though I'm not too sure what's going to happen with Derrick Rose, but I think we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, on to the 9th overall pick. This is where it gets interesting. The 9th overall pick, I think the Dallas Mavericks will select Malik Monk. He's a shooting guard. He's a really, really good shooter, possibly the best shooter in this draft. I've watched a few games. He's from Kentucky, and the reason I watched a few Kentucky games was because of, obviously, they've got De'Aaron Fox and they have Malik Monk. So that's why their backcourt is really good to watch, and it was pretty exciting to watch him play. He can light it up, and I think New York, well, I think they can really use someone like him. Sorry, not New York. Dallas can use someone like him. Just because Dallas needs to rebuild, and a player like him could just do some work for them. So, yeah, that's who I think the Dallas Mavericks will select. With the 10th overall pick, and it's pretty crazy because the Kings have the 5th and the 10th overall pick, and I think with the 10th overall pick, they will just draft the best player. They won't worry about positions. I think they will get a guy from France. Now, I'm not too sure about him. I haven't watched him play, but he seems to be a pretty good prospect. His name's Frank Ntilikina? I don't know really how to pronounce his last name. I don't really know too much about him, but he's a point guard from France. Apparently, he's got amazing basketball IQ. He's a good defender, so I think he can do some work for the Sacramento Kings, but it really depends who's available. The Kings will definitely just draft the best player available, no matter what position, but I think most likely a point guard is going to be who they draft. With the 11th overall pick, I think, well, for those that don't know, the Charlotte Hornets just got Dwight Howard. So they're looking like a decent team, but they do have a draft pick at number 11. I think someone like Luke Kennard will be good for them. He's out of Duke, so he seems like a decent guy. He's just a shooter, and yeah, that's pretty much what he is. He won't be able to defend, and I don't think he will defend many guys in the NBA. Like, he'll be kind of like just a spot-up shooter, but just, yeah, he's not a great defender. So, yeah, that's who I think Charlotte will draft. With the 12th overall pick, I think that the Detroit Pistons will also select a shooter, and his name is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, he seems like a decent guy. He has a pretty crazy wingspan, and he's only 6'2". So, I guess that's where you don't really know what he's going to do in the NBA. A 6'2" shooting guard, that's where it becomes interesting, because he can't really, I don't think he'll be able to, defend players like DeMar DeRozan in the post or Klay Thompson. So a 6'2" shooting guard, he'll probably play more of a point guard, but that's all right for the Pistons since they don't really have a great point guard or shooting guard. I mean, they got Cadwell Pope, he's all right, and Reggie Jackson, I guess he's all right as well. But the Pistons, they're just, I don't know, they're too good to get a good pick, and they're too bad to make the playoffs, so they're in a tough spot right now. With the 13th overall pick, I think that the Denver Nuggets will draft Justin Jackson. Now, Justin Jackson, I think drafting a small forward is the best possible choice for the Denver Nuggets, since they still have Kenneth Faried, although I think he'll be traded too. But a long and lanky guy, Justin Jackson seems like a good player to draft. He has improved on his three-point percentage off the last year, and he just seems like a pretty good player, so I think the Denver Nuggets should go after Justin Jackson. With the 14th overall pick, and this will end the video, I think that the Miami Heat, because my favorite team is the Miami Heat for those that don't know, I think the Miami Heat, if it was me, they should draft Harry Giles. Now, Harry Giles is a power forward from Duke, and he got injured. But I was a fan from Harry Giles from the start. For those that don't know, if you guys watched me way back, I don't even know what video I talked about Harry Giles in. It must have been when I made 2K videos, but Harry Giles was the man. He tore his ACL for the second time, so he does have that injury type of issue to him, kind of like Joel Embiid. And I mean, obviously we know about players, tall players, in fact, getting injured, Greg Oden and Joel Embiid. But an ACL isn't what you want, but he does seem like a really good guy. He has the potential to be a Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett type of player. If you watched him, he doesn't have the best stats. That's not why you draft him. But for a team like Miami, I don't know why they draft him because, well, the thing is, Miami wants to make the playoffs, but we're not going to win a championship, so is there a point in making the playoffs? I don't really know there, but if Miami doesn't go after Harry Giles, I think they'll get Zach Collins out of Gonzaga. Zach Collins is just a solid all-around two-way big man. He's solid. He won't do anything crazy on the court. He doesn't have the best potential, but he's a valuable guy that can maybe get a couple points, a couple of rebounds, a couple of blocks here and there. But if Miami wants to actually get someone good, I think for the future they should go after Harry Giles. That's who I think they should do. It's a risk, a very, very huge risk. But before he got injured, he was up as one of the top 3 or so talents in this stacked draft class. So if Miami can somehow pull Harry Giles, I would be so happy with that. But in saying that, I reckon he could either go way up, or if he does fall, he could either go way down. It really depends. So that's who I think the Miami Heat should draft, and that's who I think the top 14 teams should go after. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like. Let's aim for 4,000 likes. That would be awesome. And let me know down below who you think the NBA team should draft in this year's draft. And I also think there'll be tons of trades, so I'll keep you guys updated on here, and if not here, follow my Twitter at NickSmith71218. I'm updating you guys on all the trade rumors, all the trades, everything that goes down. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and subscribe if you're new if you want to watch more NBA videos. I'm tearing it up right now. I'm making a whole bunch of videos for you guys, so I hope you guys are enjoying that, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.